Hey, everybody, I was muted. Welcome to Game Mess Mornings with me, Jeff Grubb, your host from giantbomb.com. Thank you for tuning in. In this episode, we're going to be talking about everything that happened at that fantastic State of Play and more, including whether or not Boom Boom has a soul. It's going to be a good one because we have Jason Fanelli on the show. Jason, how are you doing?
It is a Boom Boom Friday here.
No, it's Friday the 13th. Be ominous. You're Jason.
Shit. Yeah, you're right. It's the whole reason I'm here.
We'd have you on Friday the 14th too. It doesn't matter. How you doing, man?
You, buddy. I'm all right. You know, I'm still recovering from that State of Play. It is the semi-regular Be Nice to Jason Day because Friday the 13th, Jason's got a bad rap, and now we've been trying to recover from it ever since. So give your local Jason a high five or a shoulder rub, whatever it is that you want. But no, I'm good. I'm good. Still coming off that State of Play high, which we will very much get into on today's show. Had a very productive week. It was nice to get into that old school game journalism feel where you get a code on Monday at 4 p.m. and the embargo is Thursday morning at 6 a.m. and you got to mainline that motherfucker. I had a lot of fun. The review is still not up yet. It will be up soon. I reviewed High on Life 2 for Game Informer.
Right.
I very much enjoyed that, but we can talk about that at the end of the show. Yeah, I'm fine. Just, it's another weekend. We made it. How are you, Jeff?
Yeah, we got here. I'm still a little sick, but mostly feeling good. Take some Sudafed, and that helps with the stuffy nose, and that's really the only thing I'm having, other than some like sneezing and stuff like that. So I'm hanging in there, doing all right. And then the Sudafed gets me wired because it's just crack basically. It's basically just cocaine. And then they're like, well, that helps with the nose. All right, I guess.
I haven't changed the formula since the mid 1800s when they were using all kinds of wild shit.
Exactly. Yeah, it's funny how many like medicines were like we have better versions of this, not Sudafed. They're like all the other ones we've created since then are fake. You got to go back to the original ones that is also used in methamphetamine. All right, you're the doctor. But yeah, I'm feeling all right. The voice is we'll see if the voice holds up, but plenty to talk about. So if we wear it out, we wear it out. But yeah, glad to have you here. No, actually, I want to ask a little bit about High on Life 2. How'd you feel about High on Life 1?
Here's the thing. I don't know if I feel like I am the right person to review it because that sort of humor is right in my wheelhouse. That is the kind of dumb shit that I live for. Stuff like Rick and Morty, stuff like Smiling Friends. And that's what the first game was. It's hard to go back and play now because so much of it is voiced by that dickhead Justin Roiland, but he's gone now. Squanch is doing their own thing. So they have High on Life 2, which features a whole different set of guns, some returning, some new ones. But no, I like the first one a lot. I like the premise of it. Again, a wacky off-the-wall premise of selling humans as drugs to snort them, or if they snort them, inhale them, whatever it was. It's a weird game with a lot of good laughs that you think back fondly, like, oh yeah, that was really funny. And this game had the same thing. I enjoy them. I really do.
Good. Yeah, I remember enjoying the first one enough, and now hearing plenty of good things about this one. It's like I could check this out. It's on Steam. I'll get it on the Steam Deck and maybe play through some of it on there and see how it does. And if it doesn't play well on there,
it's humor for our generation too.
Yeah.
Like the first place you go in the hub world, they say go to the marketplace and find the salesman guy from the previous game, and then you skate over there on the skateboard, which is a fantastic new addition, and you realize that the marketplace is a old school 90s style shopping mall that is completely derelict except for one store, the store that you have to go to. And you go up the escalator to where the store is, and right in front of you is the big anchor store of this almost everything's closed mall, and it's a party city, an honest to God party city with nothing in the store. All the posters saying store closing, 90% off, falling out the windows, and there's a guy stuck in there. And they make it sound like you could save him. And I still haven't figured out how to save him. I don't know how to open that door. I don't know how to get him out of there. It's hysterical. There's stupid, dumb stuff. There's a gag in this game that has to do with one of the most unique boss fights I have ever fought in a game. ever. And the gag, I'm still laughing about it 3 days later. It involves an old school video game. That's all I'll say. It's killer. It's something I'll remember fondly for the rest of the year. I know.
15 hours ish to get through the game.
That is about, I would say, what I played. Maybe
Okay.
a little less than that, but I didn't do as much exploration because of the aforementioned,
Of course,
mainlining.
Yep, that's how it goes. All right. Well, you know what? This is State of Play. Recap's going to take a while. We should get into it. Let's explain ourselves. We're Giant Bomb, internet video game doofuses. We like to make stuff, and we need your help to do so because we are independent games media. We are out here on our own, no corporate backers. We just have you because you went to giantbomb.com/join, became a premium member. Many of you have done that. We're very thankful. It has ensured that we can keep doing what we want to do. And if you want to be a part of that, you also should go to giantbomb.com/join and become a premium member. We notice it. It means the world. It will get you ad-free episodes. It will get you Grubb Snacks Premium. Chuck's putting together a whole page about all the other stuff you're going to start getting here pretty soon, including Marry Me Tomodachi, or
what is going on there?
Tomodachi Wife. Yes, we got Abby Russell showing up to play Tomodachi Life, and there's some plans. She made me make a list of characters I want to marry, and I'm not going to spoil anything. But yeah, like it's going to be quite the thing. I'm really looking forward to it. I love Tomodachi Life. This is a fantastic idea.
I love that game too, but a part of me is slightly worried to go back and play my old version because one of the Miis who established himself is the official Mii of the late Satoru Iwata.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, like
that could be sad.
He stole my wife from me.
Yeah,
at one point, as you do.
Uh-huh.
And so going back to that, just being like, "Oh man, I miss you." This is a good way to reconnect to someone who has passed, but still at the same time, damn.
No, yeah, that's you're right. That's the potential to be like deeply emotional. I can imagine people probably have a lot of people in their lives at that time where if they were to go back to some saves, be like, "Oh man, this person I have not seen since then." I can see that. And Iwata, I would feel that way about Iwata. Yes, this is a new premium show. Abby's going to be making content with us. This is the kind of thing we can do because we have your support. The first episode is going to be free. Jan, yell at me if I'm getting anything wrong. And then it will be premium only after that. So show up, watch with us, everybody. It's going to be a good time. As far as this show goes, most weekdays, Jeff Grubb, will help piece your gaming life back together. This includes breaking news and maybe even some of our own original reporting. For all these topics, I'll get the input of a bona fide expert who will make me look smart. If you are watching live on Twitch, welcome. You can always listen to the show later on podcast feeds by searching for Game Mess Mornings or find the RSS feed on giantbomb.com. You can also catch the show later with chapters and timestamps on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. All right, we have a lot to get into, so let's start the morning mess with that PlayStation State of Play from February 2026. All the biggest announcements in games. Jason Fanelli at GameSpot rounded this up for us. We appreciate it, man.
I sure did. Man, those galleries are Wild West, but we'll talk about that. Go ahead.
Yes, absolutely. So it was more than 60 minutes of announcements. They did have a fair share of first-party games, but it was primarily third-party games. And it was very exciting because I think they got everybody to kind of show up for this party and ended up with something that could have easily, I think, stood in for one of their E3 showcases of yore without people being too upset about it. I think people would have been like, oh, yeah, no, that was great. Everyone just showed off their cool stuff. And PlayStation was like, you can do that here because people will be excited to play it on our system. That starts with, let's get into it, Kena Scars of Cosmora, which is the sequel to Kena Bridge of Spirits from 2021. It's from Ember Labs. As with the original game, it's real-time kind of Zelda-light game with platforming traversal. It has that Pixar-like art style. And now this game is only going to be on PS5 and PC, where the first one was on PS4. So I'm expecting even more from the visuals this time around. It is coming to PC and PlayStation 5 this year. What do you think of Kena? I think this is a great way to start the show.
I agree. It was a nice surprise sequel, a game that many thought might not ever come back. So it's just, and the way that they sort of introduced it, where it's just like the staff in the beginning, and it mentions a spirit. So if you're keened in on Kena, you're going to know it's spirits. But if you're not, you're like, oh, this, as Dan Reichert even said, this looks like it could be a Metroidvania, because we were all expecting the God of War Metroidvania, and then all of a sudden you see her, and you're like, whoa. That's awesome. I'm glad this game's getting another shot. I'm glad there is another edition of this game coming out, because the first one is, as somebody as Ethers Elixirs, excuse me, put in chat, was a great PS2 game, and that's complimentary. It definitely has that old PS2 platformer vibe, but this one, hard to glean exactly what they're going for from the first trailer, but definitely seems it's leaning more into the Breath of the Wild style of Zelda, a little more open. You got a horse, you're riding around. That looks cool. Looks cool. Very good way to start this off.
Yeah, you kind of hope like they made that first one kind of for an audience that could be broader, and by that I mean younger people could play it, and maybe those kids can grow up with this series now, and this one could sort of mature alongside them. I could easily see that, while also still filling that family friendly role for an action adventure game of this style. I would definitely describe that first one as like double A, but like not visually. Visually, it was triple A, and that's a cool thing to see. And it seems like they're going to be able to nail that this time around as well.
Yeah.
Then there was the free DLC for Ghost of Yotei, the Legends cooperative 4-player multiplayer that is launching on March 10th. It once again is going to take that single player Ghost game and turn it to something of a live service. I don't think that should scare anybody, because it's something they're just going to make online multiplayer and support it for a long time. They kind of position it, the first one, as a like, here's the cool one to go hang out, a game to hang out with your friends in. This one's like almost like a Destiny light. I'm getting the sense from, like, there's even more going on this time around. And I think the first game's multiplayer mode, first game's Legends, earned that. And I think if they're going to build on top of it with this one, I'm ready to like check in and see what they've got.
Listen, I agree with that. I didn't play a lot of the first one, but of Tsushima Legends, but I love what I played. So I definitely want to get in here with a couple of friends. I like the demonic versions of the Yotei 6. That's a nice way to put a new spin on those enemies. But also, I think other companies might look at this as a potential, because they love their live service, right? They want to keep their live service. They got to keep that constant revenue coming in. If Sucker Punch is onto something here, where you release the single player game, you give those people what they want, and then you attach something for free and maybe throw some, cosmetic micros in there and support that with updating content. Maybe that's how you do the live service thing nowadays. You build your fan base with a strong single player, and then you insert your live service into that single player, whether it's its own story or you just implement it into the greater story. Now, granted, that's a slippery slope. The game has to have a definitive ending too. You can't have a game end in the live service part. That'll just piss people off. They want to
It's kind of it has to be like its own thing.
Yeah, but I think this could be a blueprint depending on how well this performs on March 10th. And it's free, so anybody who owns the game can give it a shot. I think there's a lot to like here, more so than just the gameplay.
I agree with you that this is a little bit of a roadmap, where there was a time where every game just had to have a competitive multiplayer mode built in, whether that was just a local multiplayer thing you were playing on the GameCube or PS2 or something like that, and Xbox 360. All of them have online multiplayer modes. And then that became like, why don't we just make our own multiplayer games standalone and make those? And then that became make big live service games. And that's what happened to Last of Us Factions. I think everyone was just screaming, just put it in as a mode into the game you've already sold us. We will play it. We promise. And you can maybe even like sell stuff in there, but they're like, it won't work as a standalone game. So we're not going to do it. And I think this is proving, do it this way. This works. Death Stranding 2 on the Beach is getting its PC port already. I guess already. It's been a minute since that game came out last year. It's going to be launching on March 19th. They promised all of the fun graphical features you'll get if you have like a modern GPU, especially from NVIDIA. That includes frame generation, upscaling. It will support all of the DualSense features on PC. This is, Nix is working on this, so Sony is like deeply involved this time around with the PC version, whereas with the last one, Death Stranding 1, when it went to PC, I believe 505 Games published it for them, and and then it sold really well. So I bet this time around, when Sony was making the deal with Kojima to like, hey, let's get your game out, this time we'll help you with the PC version when you're ready to do it. And I bet everyone involved was like, yeah, that's a great idea. And here we are. It looks good. The ultra widescreen stuff, that's going to be a good game on PC. I'm finally going to play it on there, I think.
Yeah, it's about 3 months earlier than I expected. I thought
Yeah.
I thought it would be like the 1 year anniversary, put it on the PC.
Yeah.
But no, we're getting it at 9 months, just under 9 months actually, June 27th, I think, if my memory serves. So yeah, good for them. Good for the PC port. I personally don't have enough time to play the PS5 version, so I don't know when I'm going to fit the PC port in there. Though being able to potentially play it on the Legion Go, maybe. I don't own a Portal, so maybe I'll be able to check it out. I haven't played the first one yet, though. This is one where if I'm ever like having surgery at some point, I'm gonna and I'm laid out for a week, I'll just play those two, just all the way through and get my Kojima fix that way. Because I don't want to play the second one without the first one, and I barely have time for anything in my backlog now, so I have to like sit and actually make time for it. We'll see.
Yep. That's it's a difficult problem. I know what you mean. Forloop, which is the game from Bad Robot Games, which is J.J. Abrams. It's a co-op roguelike 4-player game. They have a probability map, which just kind of looked like the roguelike map you've seen in a bunch of other roguelikes, where it's like you're going from node to node, but it changes each time. So that's why they're like, oh, the probabilities. They're going to have a playtest soon, and it's got cool looking enemy design, like a giant flying Rubik's Cube boss or whatever. Hey, this is Hollywood coming back to games again. We've seen this kind of over and over. Does this one feel any different to you?
I don't know, honestly. First of all, what's with Bad Robot and loops? They love their flash forwards, flashbacks, sideways. This is the people who brought us Lost. Let's not recall. J.J. Gamebrams, I think somebody just said in chat.
Yep.
I don't know. Didn't really hook me as much as I thought it might. Like, it was cool seeing the grid, but every time I see a roguelike grid like that, I think of like all the branching conversations in Detroit Become Human, and it just makes me think of David Cage, and I'm like,
you don't want to do that. You don't want to think about David Cage.
I try not to do that. Johnny Cage is more like it, but I don't know, something about this game. I'll give it a chance. I try to give every game a chance. I cannot judge an entire game based on the way they look in these presentations, but that one did not quite grab me as much as some others.
Pragmata was the next thing that popped up from Capcom. We've been seeing this in a lot of places now. Feels like everyone sees it. Like Nintendo, it was in their partner direct. Everyone's like, yeah, this game looks pretty good. Everyone who's played it, there's demos now in a bunch of places, seems to come out of it talking about, oh, this is even better than I was expecting. We saw some more. It's coming April 24th. There's a demo available now on PS5. I am getting the sense that this one's going to pop off. I think it's going to find its audience. How about you?
I do too. I think it's going to sit. I don't want to say AA because it's Capcom, but AA has like AAA. Capcom has AAA franchises, AA franchises, and I think Pragmata is going to fit in there. That second tier that people love. Right. And man, this thing went from vaporware to always there, didn't it? Like it was going for 5 years. It's not a deep
down. Yeah.
And no, it is not. It's been in I think almost every single presentation since SGF last year. It's absolutely wild. Or whatever that I guess was the state of play just before SGF. But the more I see of this, the more it just looks like it's really going to get me in that sort of maybe even PS2, PS3 style adventure, like we talked about Kain at the top of the show. Yeah. More, please.
Yeah, I think it's a big part of it. Also, is like Capcom just seems like they have this strategy of, we know we have Monster Hunter, we know we have Resident Evil, we know we have Street Fighter, and we're trying to like fit in these other, like, can we get Dragon's Dogma to be like sit up there among those? And it's like, well, it got close, but maybe not. It sold really well. And it's like, will they go back to another Dragon's Dogma soon? We'll see. Pragmata could fit up in there though, and it's like, or get close, and then it also feels like the kind of game where it's like, once they've got it established, I bet making these games and exploring this universe might be pretty relatively easy for them. So we get even more from this space, and I would really welcome that. And I think they have the potential to kind of have yet another one of these, maybe not load-bearing franchises, but one that's like the next tier down, like you were saying.
And as Firehair 12,000 points out in chat, it's a new IP. I love when those do well.
Yep. Unless it's secretly a Mega Man game, which who knows, could still be. Resident Evil Requiem showed up again. This is another one that's been in every presentation. Leon Kennedy got to actually shoot people this time, unlike the Nintendo Direct. They did emphasize the dynamic between Leon and Grace, where Leon's the action star, Grace is in the horror film where she's got to deal with all this tension. They going back to a Raccoon City Police Department, right?
That was so cool.
That was neat.
As soon as he was standing at that door, in fact, as soon as he got out of the car and he was in Raccoon City, I'm like, oh, he's going back to RPD. And then he's standing in front of the door and I'm like, oh, fuck, it's going to be the lobby of RPD. And then it just opens up and there's the statue, there's the logo, I'm like, oh, shit. They just took that model right from the RE2 remake, gave it a nice design and plopped it right in there. And I am here for it. Let's go.
Yeah, people were finally getting a pretty good sense of like the Leon stuff does seem to go out into the city, onto the streets, and maybe that is slightly more open. There was some, maybe not consternation, but definitely like, this is reminding me quite a bit of Resident Evil 6. I think, like as Sean pointed out when they were doing the talk over, the good parts of Resident Evil 6 were the Leon parts, and this game does still have the Grace parts that look like it's learned everything from the recent very scary Resident Evils that everyone really likes. So it's like, okay, you bounce between those two. I still think that they've got a strong handle on this, and this game's going to really deliver. I also think like there's an aspect of Capcom where they're like, yeah, we made Resident Evil 6 and we're going to kind of take that idea and do it right this time because we know we could have always done it right, and this time we're going to prove it. And I believe that.
Capcom seems like the type that likes to fix its past mistakes, and I think the launch of Street Fighter V versus the launch of Street Fighter 6 is kind of a recent example of that. So I could definitely see them being like, all right, what worked from Resident Evil 6? Leon, all right, just take that part out, put the survival horror as somebody else, and call it a day. That makes sense. Also, I may have noticed Grace like sneaks up behind an enemy and stabs him with that shot that she has. Yeah. Looked all for liquor-esque.
Looked like what?
Back. It looked like a liquor.
Okay, yeah.
From Resident Evil 2.
The enemy. Yes, exactly.
It had like a head, I have to go back and look and see if I'm making that up. But I was like, whoa, is that a liquor? Oh, shit.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. That seems like they kind of, like, they're going to be pulling out a lot of nostalgic strings. I mean, so much stuff from Resident Evil 2 is popping up in just these trailers. There's probably going to be quite a bit of it. And I think that they've earned the right to kind of go and trade on that nostalgia.
If I am somewhere as Grace, and they kind of already laid the groundwork with what they've shown already, if I'm like in or around Raccoon Police Department or somewhere in that city, and that fedora wearing motherfucker breaks out of a wall and suddenly I'm being chased by Mr. X again, absolutely not. I can't do it.
All right, let's keep going here. Legacy of Kain Defiance Remastered. It's coming to PS4 and PS5 on March 3rd. It includes cut content from the canceled sequel. Legacy of Kain's been dormant for a very long time. This does feel like they're suggesting that it's something that they care about, maybe want to do something with. This was the last entry in that series. Came out after Soul Reaver. Do you think this is setting up more from this series, or is this just like, oh, we know people like these and that's a quick buck?
There is definitely smoke. We'll have to see how much that fire is burning, but they are absolutely exploring new Legacy of Kain's. What that's going to look like, I don't know. But you don't keep going back to this well in this fashion if you're not at least considering putting something out in the future. We'll see.
After the show, Legacy of Kain Ascendance got announced. This is a Metroidvania with pixel art. It looked pretty good. It stars Kain, I believe. Yeah. And it's looked really good. I don't know why it wasn't in the state of play. I can't
imagine why. Maybe it's because they would have eaten the last announcement's lunch.
Yeah, it would have looked a little bit better than that game, at least visually speaking, for sure. That's cool. It looks like they're making that a going concern, which is interesting. All right, let's keep going. Dead or Alive updates. Dead or Alive 6 last round, 8 years later. We're getting an updated definitive version of Dead or Alive 6. It is going to have visual upgrades, a photo mode, which no one knows why that's even in there. Free-to-play version. It's going to be free-to-play. They had a teaser for the next Dead or Alive project. What did you make of all this as a fighting game fan?
I thought it was absolutely surprising. I didn't think I'd ever hear Dead or Alive ever again.
Right, it was more dead.
It was more dead than alive. I liked that the teaser for the new game gave everybody what they wanted in Ryu Hayabusa and a large chest. That's really that is the essence of Dead or Alive. Also, that sound you may have heard when that was announced was Turbo Sean launching into space.
Yes, it was.
That was quite a good day for him. I was watching you guys last night on Mess Decides, and the smile on his face when you got to Dead or Alive, my goodness, pure joy coming out of that boy. I'm happy for you. Good job. I'm trying to think of the meme from Evo or Dead or Alive that the reason why it wasn't coming to Evo or whatever. I can't remember the friggin' joke. I really want to say it, so somebody help me out in the chat. But yeah, good for them. Good for Dead or Alive. Core values. That's it. Damn it. The core values joke. Shit. But yeah, Dead or Alive. Good for you. Maybe I'll try it and bounce out like I always do because I'm just not good at them.
Bounce. Yeah. This is a series that I think we killed Jason. This is a series that is in that fighting game tier of like, oh yeah, it could easily just be dead for forever, but it would be awesome if they brought it back. I'm glad. It feels like we were just on that side of the fence right now, where it's possible for these companies to like go to the people who have the money and say, if we did this, people will show up. And I hope they continue to be right about that, because it's better when Dead or Alive is going, right? It's better than when Virtua Fighter is here. And if we can maintain that, that'd be fantastic. Maybe it happens so much that Capcom even brings back some of theirs that haven't been going concerns outside of Street Fighter.
Yeah, like a versus game. I would have said Marvel versus Capcom, but Tokon seems to be handling Marvel at the moment. So what's SNK up to? Hey, there's a really cool fan project out there. Go look this up. Sega versus Capcom. There is some wild stuff going on in that one. I hesitate to bring up fan projects in the event that somebody official is watching, but really, really cool trailers for that that I've seen cross my YouTube path. Looks awesome. So yeah, the appetite is there. Let's see it.
Yep,
come on.
Let's get some Darkstalkers back. Come on, let's make that happen.
Yeah. Speaking of bounce.
Yeah, and then you get some verses going. Did you do Street Fighter versus Darkstalkers if you need Street Fighter to sell these games? I don't know. That just whatever. At this point, if you're not going to get the Marvel license, do your own Capcom versus games. All right, then Control Resonant showed up. This is the most we've seen of the game. We've seen quite a bit before. But it is very clearly a different game than Control 1, but with a lot of the same style. But unlike that one, the first one where it's like she got that cool service weapon and then a bunch of like platforming abilities that helped her explore this world. This is a character action melee sword based game, and it looks like they're going for it. They're making one of those, and I continue to be like, oh, that's really interesting. It's smart in that it feels so different. I kind of have to see like how does this feel? How does it fit into this universe? What'd you make of Control Resonant?
I would play this game if it was a walking simulator, just to be in that universe. Yeah. I love the Control universe. The whole extended universe that Remedy is building just fascinates the hell out of me. But I really like that this character. It's Jesse's brother. I want to say Aiden. Forgive me. It's probably wrong. I like that he is getting his own identity. Dylan, excuse me.
Dylan,
Aiden.
Yeah.
I have Watch Dogs on the brain for some reason.
It's just safe to assume a man in a video game's named Aiden. I get it.
Yeah. But he's getting his own identity, and that includes in combat. He has his own style. It's all melee based, and this may be where they're trying to pull in some of the Souls people to get that like action RPG style of gameplay in. I am also looking forward to the day that whether it's in Resonant or in the future Control, where the two mesh and you can either co-op it where one's melee, one's ranged, or mission switch, kind of like what Alan Wake 2 did or what Resident Evil Requiem is planning to do, where one you're gun heavy, one you're melee heavy, and see how they meld together into another project. I have a lot of very positive feelings about this one. I really do.
Yeah, absolutely. People are saying it had aspects of Gravity Rush, and yeah, you see that where it seems like he's kind of like manipulating the world a little bit to move himself. That's cool.
That is
Crimson Moon, a third-person action game, half angel knight fighting demons. Sean said he thought it looked like Darksiders, and it's like, okay, I see what you mean. People also described it as a video game-ass video game.
Yes.
I see that. Is it we're not sure exactly how the genre is going to shake out. Is it more Souls-like? Is it a more character action? Is it more RPG, more Zelda? Not exactly sure in this moment, but what do you make of this one?
The most notable thing I took from this was the heavy metal soundtrack was giving me Death Clock vibes.
Oh, sure.
And anything that gives me Death Clock vibes is a win in my book. So that alone has me interested. If they say that Brendan Small came out and did the soundtrack for this, hell yeah, I'm in.
All right. We got a lot more to get into from the state of play, but let's take a break. When we get back, we'll talk about more from that Game Freak game. Rayman is back. We'll talk about that and more. If you want to skip out on this, you can do so. There's ad-free versions of this show and all of our shows. If you go to giantbomb.com/join, there you get the audio, video version of this without ads. Go do that. In the meantime, we will be right back. It's Game Mess Mornings. We're back. I'm Jeff Grubb. That's Jason Fanelli. Let's talk about Game Freak's Beast of Reincarnation, another thing that continues to kind of pop up pretty frequently. It is not a Pokemon game, of course. It is coming August 4th. They are making it very clear they are trying to go as far outside of their comfort zone as they've ever gone. And this is a studio that's made a lot of different games, not just Pokemon games, and frequently very good games. But we got a pretty in-depth look here. And it's looking like, yeah, they've got something. I thought this game looked fantastic in this, specifically in this trailer.
One of the highlights of State of Play for sure. This one all of a sudden has all the juice, and it's rising up my list of most anticipated games of the year. The most disappointing thing about it, honestly, was what ended up being that August 4th release date, only because it is in such close proximity to another game we will speak about later in the rundown. The way that the character and the dog go together, the cute little moments of the dog like shaking off the water at the end too. This is going to have the action, it's going to have the story, and if nothing else, I hope this gets Game Freak more projects like this, because every time they step out of that Pokemon bubble, you get a Tembo the Badass Elephant, you get a Harmonite, you get a Pocket Card Jockey, and now what could be their magnum opus to this point, you get a Beast of Reincarnation, and let's more of this. Let's go.
Muted myself again. And of course, there's just the thing where it's like they're gonna get all these skills that they could apply back to Pokemon games if the Pokemon company ever like opens them up and says, okay, now you can have voice acting or whatever. And it's like, well, they have voice acting in Beast of Reincarnation. They have the skills and the connections to make that happen now. Not that these games need to exist to make Pokemon games better. I just want to play Beast of Reincarnation to play Beast of Reincarnation.
Sure.
Rayman 30th Anniversary Edition. Cool. We heard about this. It's real. It's coming later this year. Oh, no, it's launching immediately. Excuse me. Includes multiple versions of the original game. There's an interactive documentary. This is a game that was pretty good. It was a pretty good platformer. It wasn't as good as the best platformers at the time, but it was pretty good. And then it set up a franchise that had several awesome entries after that. Rayman 2 was fantastic. The 3D game. Rayman Legends was great. Rayman, the one after that, I can never remember the name of it, but yes, the other 2D platformer that was 4-player, very good. This is a series that I've loved, and I've been craving to go back to that original Rayman for quite some time, and here it is delivering this right now.
Is Digital Eclipse involved in this at all?
I don't. It seems like it, right? It seems like a Digital Eclipse game.
Like one of their projects with the interactive documentary and all the different. So, they are okay. Good. Okay. We have confirmation. It is them. Never mind. My confidence is restored, because if they weren't doing this and Ubisoft was just trying to do what Digital Eclipse does with their own game, I'd be like, but if Digital Eclipse was actually involved, then good. I mean, that's great. Also, just nice to see a sign of life from Ubisoft, I suppose. Yeah. Considering all the news around them regularly and lately has been not great. Hey, they're thinking about Rayman. Maybe they're going to do this with other things in their backlog. We'll see. I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but good to see a sign of life.
Yep, and I had it backwards. It's Rayman Origins, then Rayman Legends. Origins is just a name that doesn't ever stick in my head, no matter what the series is. Yeah, I think, and then there's also rumors that they are going to re-release Origins and Legends. I'm glad they did Rayman 30th Anniversary Edition first. I hope they get and go back. I hope they go back to Rayman 2 as well. Another really, really good game. Mina the Hollower has reappeared. This is Yacht Club's follow-up to Shovel Knight. A PS5 demo has dropped right now. You can go play it. They gave it a spring 2026 release window, and everyone's like, what the hell? This thing was supposed to come out last year, and you still don't have a date. Well, they followed that up with a little bit more information. They said that we will have a date very soon. We are just waiting for the game to be fully submitted and certified by all of the platform holders, so we don't have any surprises. Once that is all locked in stone, then you'll know, and the game will come out. So this thing is coming soon. Every time I've played it, I've enjoyed it. In that last demo that I played, the last preview that they gave me, that was the best version yet. So it just keeps getting better. I know you're a fan as well.
Yes. I think this one's going to explode. I really, really do. I think whatever happened to make it miss its Halloween 2025 was unfortunate, but I think the game just, I'm hoping it's something they thought of that would be really cool and just couldn't put the idea down. But yeah, the press release also says that it has more total screens, like individual screens, than the entirety of the Shovel Knight Treasure Trove. That is a massive game. And I think this is going to be one of those games that people talk about for a very long time. Yacht Club putting that expertise of knowing the essence of the retro game into a style of retro game like the old Zeldas, the Link's Awakenings and things like that, but with the difficulty ratcheted up. Yeah, this is going to be a fun one.
Yeah, if I had to like throw out an uninformed guess at what happened, I would say the people making the game played Silksong and they went, we can make this even better. Like we can go back and make Mina the Hollower even better and really appeal to that same audience. And if we do, maybe we get a little bit of that shine as well. And I bet they're right. If they can get close to that, they can kind of have establish those same feelings of this little cute mouse being lost in a strange, like a harsh world and having all these cool abilities to overcome that world, which is kind of what they've set up there. Ooh, yeah, I'm into it. I continue to love the Game Boy Color aesthetic. Neva Prologue. Prologue chapter launches February 19th. It does require the base game, adds narrative context to that 2024 release, which it did pretty well as an indie. I remember people really liking that game. It reviewed really well, to my memory. This is DLC, though. It's an expansion, and by the name Prologue, I'm assuming it is setting up the original story, but maybe there's even more context there as well. DLC for indie games, I usually don't check in on DLC overall, but maybe especially for indie games. So what do you make of this?
It has to be a game that grabbed me the first time if I'm going to go back and try the DLC. And luckily for Nomada, Neva was one of them. So one of the most visually stunning games I've ever played. A good emotional story about partnership, friendship, parenthood, however you want to look at it. To see how the relationship between the human and the dog, wolf, came to be through this. I think I'm going to check that out because Nomada also made Grease. So if you never played Neva, that's the kind of emotional weight you're getting into. If you ever played Grease, what the hell are you doing? This one's on my radar.
Then Yakko Shinobi Ops. It's an isometric ninja action game launching 2027. It has a very tactical look to it. It is something of a hybrid between a stealth action game and a tactical game. I think people saw this and were like, "Oh, is this like a Tenchu?" And then kind of the camera pulls out, and there was, I think there were maybe even hexagons or something like that. But at the very least, there was this vision cone of like you can only see where the ninja can actually see, and then you maybe can hear things outside of that. And you need to use that information to make informed decisions in the moment about how you're going to move your ninja through that world. I think seems pretty cool, but I think it was hard for people to grok exactly what was happening in the game. What'd you make of this one?
Yeah, Yakko Shinobi Ops, not to be confused with Wacko Shinobi Ops or Dot Shinobi Ops. It's if you get that joke, it's time for your annual.
Yep.
It's the only game I think from the entire presentation that said 27. Right?
Yes, that's right.
So I think what you see there, I think a lot of people were down on this just because of how like gritty and gross, like it didn't look technically sound.
Right.
Had a little bit of a weird, like glitchy whatever to it, but 2027, we have time. So I think what they're going for is pretty cool, especially if you can use those different units in succession, right? If you have to choose one, maybe it's a little not as interesting, but if you have to if you can use the ninja to go up on the rooftops, then the big guy to break the wall to give him access, you know what I mean? And they all kind of work in concert with each other, that could be really cool. But right now, just based off of a minute of gameplay, hard to really, like you said, see what's going on there.
Then there was Project Windless, a third-person action game starring a dual-wielding warrior rooster. It's from Crafton Montreal. This is, that's the PUBG company. And it was just this giant fucker chicken guy just slamming through crowds of dudes with swords. Like he was 9 feet tall, and then it's just 1,000 normal dudes standing in front of him. And it was melting them. It looked like a lot of fun.
Some Kentucky fried badassery in this game.
It's kind of cool.
Do not run afoul of this motherfucker. It's based on a South Korean novel series called The Bird That Drinks Tears. So he's an edgelord too.
Hell yeah. Sweet liberal tears. All right.
It looked awesome. And they knew that their hero was going to set off some alarm bells in the greater communities because they waited. They showed him slashing people. They showed him being all badass. And then he drops in and everyone's like, holy shit, it's a bird. Holy shit, it's a rooster. And
go birds.
Go birds. That's correct. This looks fun. I'll probably play it just to be able to say, wrecking fools as a chicken. But if a over-exaggerated Southern colonel is not the final boss, what the fuck are we doing here? Right?
100%. Yes. Like you should be stealing and destroying the secret recipe or whatever, the 11 herbs and spices.
Oh my God, the bosses of the 11 herbs and spices.
Yeah.
And then you get to him.
There, man, cut the check. I'll tell you what, if this game just started, dude, I would have been like, okay. But this really stands out because of this chicken. Then we got Star Wars Galactic Racer, which looked fantastic. The couple things here. We knew it was from many of the former people who worked at Criterion. It looks like Burnout. Exactly. It looks exactly like Burnout, but with Star Wars vehicles. And then there was also not a hint. There was just straight up, hey, we're going to have cutscenes of the characters interacting with one another. There's going to be something else going on in the story. So there's that aspect of it. It's like, okay, so if you care about this universe, there's going to be more for you. But I just liked it when the cars ran into each other and exploded one off the track. It looked fantastic. How'd you feel about this?
Man, what a difference from episode 1 Racer on N64. Am I right?
Yeah.
Holy shit. This looks awesome. It is exactly what our young brains imagined a pod racing game could be back when we first saw them on the main screen. Again, nothing against the N64 game, but this is what our imaginations had. Ben Quadinaros sighting at the end there. That plump motherfucker showing up in his little pod racer. Yeah, this one, man. I could see this being like, this is going to be weird to say, but like the racer that Mario Kart wanted to be. Like this is going to get the racing hype that Mario Kart should have had.
I just think if they can capture that Burnout spirit, that like we've been, Forza Horizon is one thing, but it is trying to be a different game. If this is just going to feel like a Burnout, but with cool Star Wars vehicles, they are so far ahead of the curve in a world where the arcade racer is resurgent. This could stand on top of that heap in a very noticeable way. So I'll show up for this. I hope it delivers on these promises because that is a lot of big promises, and it looks like it could.
Is there some story elements going on there too? The drivers were yelling at each other. So I wonder if you can customize your driver. That would be fun.
Right, exactly. How is that going to work? I mean, if you do pick Ben Quadinaros, are you going to be in a situation where he has his own campaign and his own reasons for racing or whatever?
That would be fun.
That could be a lot of fun. I don't know if they're going to make that much content, but whatever. Even if they kind of have one story and the character just slots in there, I'll take it. Could be fun.
Yeah, man. That'll be fun.
007 First Light, we're seeing even more of this. It's launching May 27th. Feels very Hitman meets Bond, which is what we were expecting from the game. I think they're going to be able to deliver on this for an audience that really likes Hitman and or really likes James Bond. But it also, when you have this licensed IP and you make a big AAA game, you kind of have to reach a broader audience. Do you think it has the potential to kind of win over new fans?
It might, but unfortunately, I think to do that, you're going to have to distance yourself from Hitman. I think people when they think of James Bond, they think of the dashing debonair secret agent and all that. And there is some connective tissue between Hitman and James Bond, but it's not complete. Like Hitman is a cold, calculating assassin. He's only there to kill people. 007 has other things that he does. He is stealing intel. He's meeting with, high profile contacts. He likes his martini shaken, not stirred. I don't even know if Agent 47 drinks. We don't know. So like
he's never had food or beverages.
He sustains himself on the blood of his targets. That's it.
That's right.
That's why he's so pale. It's I don't know. A part of me is like, I want this game to just come out already because there's been so many trailers and so much coverage of it since like June. But at the same time, there's a small hesitation that IO cannot get far enough away from its Hitman DNA to make this the Bond game that it needs to be. But we'll see.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of lessons learned making this game. And I think that those lessons learned will be evident on the screen when people are playing it, being like, oh, they got pretty close to what they were going for, and this is good or fine. But next time around, and I hope it just does well enough to justify that next time around. Because I think it's going to be a good game. I just don't. It's hard to imagine it being a fantastic, great Game of the Year candidate or something like that.
Sure.
Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 2 finally getting announced. This is something that obviously we knew had to be coming. They called the first one Volume 1. It didn't have Metal Gear Solid 4, but there was always questions because Metal Gear Solid 4 has never left the PS3 until now. Metal Gear Solid 4 is now going to be playable on a bunch of different platforms, along with Peace Walker. It's coming August 27th. They are also including the Game Boy Color game.
Ghost Babel.
Yes, Ghost Babel, as it's known in many territories. And then there was a bunch of other bonuses and stuff like that. That's a pretty darn good collection. Obviously, though, Metal Gear Solid 4 being the star attraction here, finally getting to play that outside the PS3.
So I had a meme in my head as soon as I saw this about for the scene from Whacking Day, The Simpsons, where they let the snakes out. Born free as the wind blow, and I just see Solid Snake running along with them. He's finally free. His final adventure is finally free, and I cannot wait for the modern audience to get it. I loved Metal Gear Solid 4, absolutely. Without a doubt, one of my favorite games of all time. One of the most underrated soundtracks, too. The soundtrack in that game is absolutely divine. Still on repeat to this day. 17, nearly 18 years later, by the time it comes out, 2026. To see it finally get its due and be included in this remaster and revisiting this franchise is super, super cool. Peace Walker has been adapted before, so I'm not quite as excited about that one. Ghost Babel's really cool. Some weird exclusions in Acid and Portable Ops. A lot of people have mentioned. I feel like that one could be.
There's a Volume 3 in the works probably then. Yeah,
sure. So maybe that's where they'll show up. They have to save something for their Volume 3. They want to keep selling these things. But man, as soon as I saw that old mustachioed snake on my screen, I'm like, I can't believe it. Finally out of purgatory, and I can't wait to play it again because I will.
Absolutely. Did Twin Snakes? Did Nintendo publish that? Or did Konami handle? I wonder how Nintendo would have to be involved on that.
Yeah, I think they would. I think they would have to be because I feel like they specifically commissioned that game for the GameCube to be MGS1 and MGS2's engine. So there would have to be some sort of conversation there, but it's possible, especially since this is on Switch too. Yep. So maybe Twin Snakes is coming down the line. Who knows?
Yeah, if you get Twin Snakes and Metal Gear Solid Rising, Revengeance in there. Yeah, you get 5. Why not? Put 5 in the collection with all these other games. I know people probably already own at this point. Yeah, put Survive in there. Sure. You got yourself maybe a Volume 3 and Volume 4 at that point. All right. Then they teased some more Metal Gear Solid stuff. Dan Reichert was debated by Darwin's Paradox. Yeah, that's so good. That octopus stealth adventure that is going to have an homage to Metal Gear Solid in it. I thought it looked really cute. I liked it a lot. Yeah. That octopus moves around in a fun way. But of course, people are like, "Oh man, I was expecting something more." And it was the octopus game. But I gotta say, Konami though, so far in this state of play at this point, I was like, wow, they're really showing up, and they're kind of showing that they're still doing that thing that they did with Deliver at All Cost, where it's like we're working with our old properties, and then we're going out and searching for kind of double A indie games that we want to work with and really show off. And that's fantastic. I thought this is a really good sign out of Konami.
Yeah, I did not expect a Konami Direct within my state of play, but it turned out, as we'll continue to discuss, it turned out to be a really cool surprise. If Konami wasn't back before, they're back now, right? They are back in the saddle. As far as Darwin's Paradox is concerned, I thought that was a nice little bait and switch. I think this game looks really cool. It's about time somebody challenges the throne of best octopus in video games. Currently occupied by Octodad. I don't know if he's going to get there because Octodad is hard to top, but I'm going to try this demo. I think
me too.
I think this is definitely worth taking a look at for pure silliness alone. But if it teaches you how the game's going to play in this silly context, that's a really smart idea.
Yep. And yeah, Konami not even halfway done in this state of play. Up next, the long-rumored, long-awaited return to Castlevania, Belmont's Curse, a 2D action platformer developed by Evil Empire, and then with support and consultation from Motion Twin, both of which worked on Dead Cells in a variety of ways. So it's a bunch of Dead Cells people showing up and helping Castlevania out with this. There was Castlevania DLC in Dead Cells, right? So here you go. That led to this. This game is launching later this year, and I thought it looked really good.
Definitely lends credence to the thought that the Castlevania DLC for Dead Cells was a trial run for a full-on Castlevania adventure. And yes, I am here for it. It also shows a willingness by Konami to realize the wealth of IP they have. And if they can't think of an idea, then they should find studios that can. Seeing Motion Twin and Evil Empire, the Rogue Prince of Persia, and Dead Cells people in this trailer gave me way more confidence than just seeing the Castlevania logo. More of this. If you have the IP, Konami, and you have external developers with a proven track record that have an idea, let them try it. Let them see what they can do with your IP. And if they crash and burn, then you know. But it can't be any worse than that 3DS Castlevania for Mercury Steam back in 2012, 2013, whatever that was called. That was not great. And Dead Cells is one of the most highly thought of indie games ever. So it seems like a match made in heaven.
Yep, agreed. I don't think we know if this is like a Metroidvania or kind of maybe more classic Castlevania. I'm not sure if people have like sussed that out yet or not.
Yeah, I don't think so. It definitely seems like it's got the level format where you're going to be doing some backtracking, but I don't think it was genuinely confirmed if it's going to be that classic style yet. You are correct.
And they said later after the show, Konami that is, that they're going to have even more Castlevania. This is just the beginning. And they said Castlevania projects or like spin-offs or whatever. Obviously, they could be referring to even more like Netflix shows and stuff like that. But it seemed to suggest that they would have even more Castlevania games in the works, which, please, I love Castlevania. Yeah. All right. They still weren't done. And like you said, hey, they're working with partners, right? We knew they were working with this partner, Annapurna, on Silent Hill Townfall, which they finally showed off in earnest. It is taking place in a new town. It is a first-person kind of survival-focused game. It's also launching later this year. They had the Silent Hill transmission that went even deeper on this after the show. It is them sort of trading on the fact that they're doing a lot with Silent Hill so they can keep trying new things. And this is yet another example of that. How do you feel about this one?
I think people were surprised by Silent Hill F based on the reviews I read. I didn't actually play it myself because I am a sissy.
Yeah.
Based on those reviews, I think people were surprised by the action bent of Silent Hill Elf. How it was a little more action focused than people expected, or combat focused. And I think now we know why. Because they didn't want to have two really tense survival horror style Silent Hills back to back like this. And they knew Townfall was coming. We didn't yet. So to see this come out and have that first person view, kind of like the RE7 sort of thing, but for a Silent Hill game, really neat. The developer behind it used to be called No Code, now called Screenburn. They made Observation in 2019. Right. If that was a little horror indie jam, if you like that, that's the people behind this. They're based in Scotland, I think, Glasgow. Yeah, cool. This is more Silent Hill is good. Letting another development studio try it out is a smart idea. And maybe they'll go 2 for 2 here and they'll let other studios take cracks at them. Makes sense to me.
Konami, not done. And this time, shifting gears, we keep talking about them partnering up with others. This is the next game they're making internally at Konami, Rev Noir, a new IP,
Wild.
anime-inspired RPG. Sean was saying last night to me, like, he takes this as the sign that, like, oh, Konami's fully back. If they are, they're not necessarily making a new Suikoden, but they are making an anime RPG. They only would do that if they think making games is a way to success. We'll see. I mean, to me, as an uninformed idiot about RPGs, games I enjoy, but I do not pay attention to that space of some. I'm like, oh, are they trying to have their own persona? And so no, they've done stuff like this before. And yeah, kind of people were saying it looks a lot like a Tales of game. And it's okay, yeah, I think that can work if this comes in and it's like, a solid 80 on OpenCritic. People are like, yeah, it's another one of these good RPGs from a Japanese publisher, and we will play this.
I would get a little bit of a Xenoblade vibe too.
Yeah, people mentioned that one as well. Yeah,
stuff like that. Yeah, I fully agree with you that this was definitely the sign that Konami is fully back into game development. I think it was you last night talking with Sean who said that they must have hired somebody at Konami who just likes making video games, and wants to go back to making video games, and that to me is awesome. I don't know that this is one that I'll play, Rev Noir, just because time is fleeting, and I would love to sink some time into 100-hour RPG. I just can't do it. But good for you. If it's something that piques your interest and it's something that you might want to get into based on what you've seen so far, I hope it works out for you.
All right, then we got into a little bit of the home stretch here. There was a John Wick 3D action game from Saber, the most prolific studio, and as is always pointed out, they have a ton of a dozen studios over there. But they're going to have a bunch of environmental combat scenarios where John Wick could just slam heads against walls, and it's going to have shoot John Wick. Keanu Reeves is in the game. They kind of made that the point of emphasis for this trailer.
Yeah. I like how he said, one line? Yeah. That's all he had to say. That's all people wanted.
Exactly.
No, when I first started watch this trailer, when I saw it for the first time, I'm like, oh man, is this Slow Clap? Is this the Sifu people? Because they are a perfect fit. Ended up not being that. I did see Saber and went, oh, but mostly because Saber is doing so much. They have Hellraiser coming soon. And,
Toxic Commando from John Carpenter, Turok, the KOTOR remake.
Man, they are busy.
They got that American Truck Simulator clone sort of thing that they're making, and they're still supporting a bunch of different Mud Runners games. Yeah, it's crazy. A
lot going on at Saber Interactive, but that's good. That means business is good. The licensing fees or licensed games are coming in. I hope this one is good. John Wick definitely seems like it would fit into a video game environment, and the few times they have tried it, like Hex, and I think there was one other game that I'm forgetting, were fine, but they're not really exist anymore if they're even able to be found at all. Cool. Let's try it.
Marathon's getting an open preview on February 26th through March 2nd, leading into its March 5th launch. Everyone seems much more positive on this game at this point. I thought this trailer looked pretty good. How about you?
Yeah, as long as the art's actually there, I'm fine to try it out, right? I don't want to hear any more of this stealing or AI bullshit. I want to think they may have crossed some sort of line here. The people who have been playing it, who have been previewing it and stuff, are very high on it since they've taken this hiatus. We'll see what happens in this Server Slam preview weekend on February 26th. But why isn't it just launching on February? Whatever. Cool. I hope it works out. And if the story is going to be like this, little teasers here and there, and then they build to something greater, that's how it should be. That's what Destiny was. Right? If you want to throw a Destiny-style story in a multiplayer shooter like this, I think that there's ample ground for that. We'll see. There's still a cloud of unsure around this one, but we're almost there. We'll see.
Then there was a PlayStation Plus update. Spider-Man 2 is hitting PS Plus on February 17th. Tekken Dark Resurrection, the PSP port of Tekken 5. Time Crisis PS1 port with the gyroscope aiming. That's a lot of fun. And then Big Walk is confirmed to be launching into PS Plus on day one. that's exciting. Although we are now calling that game Big Wank because Eurogamer accidentally called that before fixing it on their website. We saw Sorrowos, more of that. It's launching April 30th. They really showed off a lot of that game, looking better than ever, right?
Yeah, makes me want to go back into the Returnal between now and April 30th just to get my my reflexes going. My goodness, that game looks like a lot of fun. And I know it's Rakul Kohli. I know who the actor is, but hey, Tam looks pretty good.
Marvel Tokon, more of that. We got to see some of the X-Men that they're putting into this game, including Wolverine. It's launching August 6th. Sounds like they are taking a lot of feedback from lukewarm reception during some testing previously.
Yes, there were some new moves and new things going on in that trailer that I definitely noticed. And also, it's just nice to know that there are more characters than the 8 that they debuted with the first trailer back in June. These are the first ones. These are the first new characters since that debut trailer. There have been other news, but this is the first time we're seeing some new faces. Also, it was nice to meet Danger. I didn't know the Danger Room became sentient. That's fun. That's a neat little addition. But yes, and I like the team aspect. So every trailer from here on out is going to feature a different team, and that's going to be where the characters come from. 5 teams, 4 characters each. That's 20 characters. We currently know 11, right? We had 8, 3 more, 11. So we have 9 more to fill this roster out. That's pretty cool. Let's go.
And yes, Jan, we're not putting in the leader of the X-Men. Sorry, bud. They got to put in the Danger Room instead. I read that Joss Whedon run, and I don't remember Danger, but maybe I should go back and read it again. I thought it was pretty good. Joss Whedon sucks, though. God of War Trilogy Remake got teased. They just had a title. It seems very early. Last I heard was last year they were like talking about it. And that's not the last I heard, but last year I heard that they were talking about it. So they're just getting started on this thing, but they're remaking 1, 2, and 3. TC Carson, who does the voice of Kratos, came out and charmed everyone. What do you make of this one?
TC Carson is a swagged out man, and I want to see him talk more, but I think there's a way to approach this remake. I had this thought this morning where you start as, like, the game opens with you as Norse Kratos, and you're in the boat going to Valhalla, right? And Mimir says to him, you know, you seem lost in thought or whatever. I'm just dwelling on my past. What happened? If you approach this game as a reckoning with your past by highlighting just how much of a shithead Kratos was in those 3 games, like sacrificing people to solve puzzles and really hone in on that while also remaking these games, I think there could be a very interesting, like, story that could be told here in a way that other remakes haven't, like a reckoning with your past. Because as a franchise, it had to do that too, right? When 2018 came out, it as a franchise, God of War had to kind of address or deal, or however, maybe they haven't done that yet. Maybe this is their way of doing it. I just think there's a way to connect the 2 different silos of God of War in an interesting way here, should they choose to do it.
Let's see here. Next was Sons of Sparta. I've been playing this, and I didn't think it looked very good in the trailer. And I was like, I think I need to like actually get my hand on the controller and see how it like looks as I'm moving the character. And as I suspected, it's a little bit better in that context. I still don't think it looks great. It's very clearly like the 3D characters with that pixelated pixel art look filter on top, and that I think that does look better than it does in the trailers on YouTube. But yeah, I'm not sure that people are going to flock to this game. It is a 2D Metroidvania. What'd you make of this?
So Megacat Studios has a very distinct pixel art. If you go to WrestleQuest, if you go to Five Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit.
Yes.
So when I saw Megacat, I knew what to expect. It kind of fit into my expectations. I think the problem is those games were very colorful. They had a lot of pop to them. You were in a 1980s arcade and Into the Pit. You were at WrestleQuest, which is all spandex and big muscles, right? This is very brown. It's very gray. It's very uninteresting to look at because you're in ancient Greece. It's the desert. It's a lot of dirt. So I see where people are coming from in its ugly, how it looks a little ugly or not quite what they want. But I think that has more to do with the setting than their actual ability to create these pixels. But if the gameplay is good, haven't had a chance to try it yet, but if the gameplay is good, I think I'll be able to get over that and check it out.
Yeah, I'm wondering what people are going to be thinking about. I think on Monday, I'm going to make that the poll question of, hey, have you tried this game? If you have, what do you think? It is, I really think people are going to have to try it. And it's $30. I guess, Jason, what do you think they're trying to do with this game? Is it just keep God of War relevant? Because what I don't get is you make this game and you play as boy Kratos, you play as boy, and it just doesn't feel very God of War-y like when you initially play. Like as I'm playing it, it's definitely the Sparta stuff is every line's about Sparta this, Sparta that. I get that, but what do you think they're trying to accomplish with the brand with this game?
I think there is an argument to be made about bridging relevance, right? So people are playing this now for a little while. News is coming out about the Amazon Prime series with casting and stuff like that. That'll start filming soon, and then that'll come out. And then it makes me wonder just how far into, or lack thereof, this trilogy remake they are, right? Like this may be early, and we're talking like 5 years. So they have to do everything they can to keep it relevant, because Ragnarok was 2022. That's 4 years ago. I guess they thought they would have had a new project by now, and then something happened, so they had to pivot and do this, or they always had this in their back pocket. The fact that it was a shadow drop was very interesting. Also, too, I don't know. I think there's an argument to be made that they just want to keep God of War fresh in people's heads as they make their way towards this remake, but we'll see.
All right. Let's see. I'm actually finishing up the Bomb 12 right now. I forgot to do it because I was sicky poo, and I've been
sicky poo
dereliction of duty. But I think I got it all updated now, so we should be good to get that here in a second. In the meantime, let's get to the poll question from yesterday, everybody. We're not going to get to the rest of this news because we've run out of time. That's just how it goes sometimes.
Boom.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Listen, everybody, Mike Minotti's out, and I was like, hey, Mike, on Blue Sky, does Boom Boom have a soul? Boom Boom is the mini boss from Super Mario Brothers 3. The guy that does this. Now he's in Mario Tennis. And Mike's always said, like, a Goomba doesn't have a soul. You shouldn't be able to play as him in Mario Party or whatever. So I was like, hey, Mike, does Boom Boom have a soul? Can I play as him? You won't get mad at me. And he didn't respond because he's busy. He's traveling. So I asked, the person he's with, hey, Peyton, can you ask Mike this? And she got back to me and said he told her that Boom Boom does have a soul. He went on something about like whether or not humans and dogs have souls. I'm ignoring that. I'm gonna wait for him to get back before I clarify some of that stuff. But Boom Boom does have a soul, everybody. We did it. Good job. Absolutely. All right. Let's see here. The poll question from yesterday was, let's see here. Have you tried Mugenics? 18% said yes. 82% said no. 18% of the audience has already jumped on that thing, and that game is selling very, very well. And that's the kind of game that people pick up for forever, and like in a Steam sale down the line and all that stuff. So a pretty good start for that game. That is now having like it's weird voice acting, meow controversy. You know, like I said on a show previous this week, I don't want to hear Ethan Klein meowing in a game, but also like whatever. I know what kind of dude Edmund McMillan is. He's just a guy stuck in that early 2000s Newgrounds space and has been heads down making his games. And I don't know. I'm only going to hold so much against him because I'm not going to be like, I'm not there to scold everybody. Whatever. You're going to work with these people. I'd rather you didn't. And I'm going to say that. So I'm going to say I'd rather this game did not have these shitty people in here. His response, though, has only made it worse, where he's like, some people just have different beliefs, and that's scary, isn't it? So, shut up, Ed. Just shut up.
That's not great. He did say also, too, that he asked some of the people on one side of the argument if they'd be mad if the other side of the argument were in the game too, and vice versa, and they all agreed and they were all adult about it. That doesn't make it that much better, but I guess that's fine. So for people who aren't aware, in the chat, there are about 65 or 70 different voice actors who meow as the cats in this game, and you get them randomly. Cliffy B is one of them. H Bomber Guy is one of them. The professor for you magic freaks, Tulare Community College, he's one of them. There's a ton of them. Right? You don't have any control over who you get. You don't have any. Rivers Cuomo is one. Bobcat fucking Goldthwait is one of them. David Harbour is one of them. It's a weird cast. So it's a multitude of people. It's just kind of, it's a thing that the game didn't fucking need. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, it was just like the kind of thing where it's like, people are going to step up and be like, this stinks, and then move on with their lives, which is, I think, a fair response. Like, people are allowed to think something stinks and can say it, and then either still play the game or not play it because of this. All of this is fair. We can talk about these things. If we're all going to be adults, let's all be adults and like say, hey, this thing you did stinks, and you can handle that criticism. It's going to be all right, Ed. All right. So let's see here. We're going to get to the Bomb 12 here in a second. Before we do that, Jason Fanelli, why don't you tell people where they can find you on the internet, what you have going on, all that good stuff on a Friday the 13th.
JasonFanelli.com on Blue Sky. Instagram, Big Man Fanelli is where I do my thing. As I said, I reviewed High on Life 2 for Game Informer. That should be out at some point today. Tried to get it in before the embargo, but just didn't happen. And then the state of play got in the way, but it'll be out soon. Like that game a lot. I think it's a bunch of really weird, stupid humor that fits right into my wheelhouse. But other than that, I have a lot of content coming to GameSpot in the realm of the Magic the Gathering. We have Ninja Turtles coming out soon, so I'm sure there's going to be stuff going on there. I'll be in New York on Sunday for New York Toy Fair. That'll be a first for me, meeting with a couple of folks about some cool kids' toys and stuff like that. I didn't realize how big this thing was. Like, Mattel on the map of the convention has like the entire back pavilion of the Javits just to them. It's wild. So yeah, I'm looking forward to checking that out. That started today, I think, or tomorrow it starts. But yeah, check out GameSpot for me, MMO, and then I believe it's the next issue of Game Informer will feature your boy a couple of times, but we'll get into that when it happens.
Excellent. Thanks for being on the show, man. Appreciate it. Let's go ahead and get out of this week by going to the Bomb 12. These are the 12 games that really matter to people who are really playing video games. Let's go ahead and start here with number 12, Silent Hill F, still at number 12 after last week. Wow. Same with Hytale at number 11. Game I still want to check in on. At some point, we'll make time on one of these UPFs to do that. Number 10 is Baldur's Gate 3, popping back up under the chart. Number 9 is Arknight's Endfield, that Gashapon game. Number 8 is Mio Memories in Orbit. Number 7, Sectori. We did it, everybody. Hey. We gave away a lot of codes to new subscribers for that, and sounds like a lot of people are playing it. I have the new high score among my friend group. I beat Jacob Geller by like 1,000 points. We both have almost the exact same 18 million point score, and I must have shot like 2 more dudes. That's it. It's crazy. But I'm number 11 in the world right now, so almost in the top 10. I got to just keep at it. Number 6, Arc Raiders. Number 5 is Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. Number 4 is Escape from Ever After. I'm very excited to see more and more people are playing that game. It is worth people's time. Number 3, Deadlock. The game's still not out. I feel like it's just going to continue to be this shadow giant. Number 2 is Neo 3. Excuse me, like we said last week, it popped up on the chart a little bit last week. Here it is, kind of getting almost to the top. But number 1, still Cairn.
Wow.
Yes, the climbing game that a lot of people seem to be falling in love with. I need to go back to it. I know I need to actually
I want to check it out too. Baby Steps kind of made me, I love Baby Steps, don't get me wrong, but that game frustrated the hell out of me. So this one, I probably do the same thing, but I definitely want to play it. Real quick before you finish the show, shout out to Chuck and his cat-based Skyrim run. That video was excellent.
9 lives.
Looking forward to new adventures in Nianriel whenever you guys get back to it. Good stuff, man.
Yeah, we're going to record some more today. We're banking these episodes, everybody. So the 9 lives of Mr. Mustafa Fleas will continue. We're having a good time with that. So everybody keep tuning in for those episodes as they drop. If you want to watch them, you're going to have to go to giantbomb.com/join and become a premium member. Again, thanks to everybody who's jumping aboard to watch this stuff. It kind of gives us a signal that you want to see more of it. All right. I think we're good. I think we're clear. Jason Fanelli, thank you so much for hanging out with me today and talking about video games, man. I really appreciate it.
Always an honor, Mr. Grubb. Enjoy your Friday the 13th and make sure you say hello to a Jason.
Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. Love to do these shows for you because you are the best audience in gaming. Until next time, have a good one. Take care of yourself and goodbye.